Be cool, be kind, be classy. The cupcakes are sweet and sexy. Have fun, enjoy the journey. Or just have a good attorney. No big whoop, no biggie. She lives near New York City. And not just a YouTube show. When you know, you better grab a straw. Learn about the law. It's cool here in the shade, sipping motions and lemonade. Cool heads will prevail, kindness will never fail. Be classy and vastly wise. Oh, Melanie Little is going live. Oh no, where is Melanie? Follow the island's melody. Is a concert within reach. No surprise, she's at Jones Beach. She heard some music far away. Captain Jack Stack Harbor Bay. He sings and his piano plays. Not all sounds are waterways. Speaking Yiddish and Latin, it's not just for Manhattan. It's for Goethe and Meshegas. Ridiculous that insanus. Oy vey, Marcus. Proset, that's for schmucks. Be cool, be kind, be classy. My cupcakes are sweet and sassy. And not just a YouTube show. When you know, cool heads will prevail. Kindness will never fail. Be classy and vastly wise. Melanie Little is going live.
Oh, I'm on mute. Well, hello again. Today is still Friday, November 22nd, 2024, and it is 1 p.m. here on the East Coast, and it's Friday. So, another Friday, more droppings. More droppings in the Karen Reid case. Two of these motions, I think, the ones that were filed by the Commonwealth were filed late yesterday. So we have not yet had a chance to look at them. And then there was something filed just about, 11:40 p.m. today. Looks like the defense team is up. There's 1,111 of you in there. Make a wish, and smash the like button. The defense is adding a New York lawyer to their team. Woot, woot. Yay, New York. So we're going to take a look at that as well. How's everybody doing since I saw you 20 minutes ago? Uh-oh. Mrs. Goodman, beat Mr. Goodman to the punch with a 20. Thank you for saying I'm the best. I appreciate you. Appreciate you guys. The Goodmans are here. Everyone. All right, here we go. Let's bring this up first. A motion for pro hoc vice admission of attorney Robert Alessi, who is a New York attorney. Somebody said, do I know him? I do not know him. But I can tell you about his background because I looked it up. So here is a motion just filed today by the defense. Is a motion for admission pro hoc vice of Robert Alessi. David Yannetti of the law firm Yannetti Criminal Defense Law Firm and a member in good standing of the Massachusetts Bar hereby moves to admit pro hoc vice Robert Alessi so that he may associate in as counsel of record for the defendant in the above captioned matter on the following grounds. Mr. Alessi is a partner in the law firm of DLA Piper LLP US. It is I looked it up. It's a global law firm. They have law firms all over the world. And here's his address in New York City. His telephone number is redacted by me because I know some whack jobs might try and call him. Mr. Alessi's email ad. Oops, I didn't do that. Hold on. Hold, please. Talk amongst yourselves for a minute. Not that you probably couldn't, look it up on his website if you wanted to, but I like to do these things ahead of the troll-like behavior that happens. All right. Okay. He's admitted to practice law in the state of New York, and his membership is in good standing. Defendant Karen Reed has requested that Mr. Alessi be associated in as counsel of record in the above captioned matter. Good cause exists to grant this motion because Mr. Alessi has specialized skill and knowledge in representing defendants in matters of this nature. Should the court grant this motion, I will act as co-counsel during the pendency of this matter. In conjunction with this motion, Mr. Alessi has paid the Board of Bar Overseers the VIG of $355. Those are my words, not his, as required by SJC Court Rule or SJ Court Rule 3:15. Attached here too is Exhibit A is his registration statement for attorney issued by the Board of Bar Overseers. Wherefore, for good cause shown, David Yannetti respectfully requests that this motion for pro hoc vice admission be granted. XOXO, David Yannetti. David Yannetti, bring it on. Big gun from a New York white shoe law firm. Here is his bio. And I am not sure exactly why they're bringing him on, but we can surmise, can't we? Let's see. Stop screen, present. From the website of his law firm, which is a major global law firm, DLA Piper. Mr. Alessi is the Counselor Alessi, brother Alessi. Is the global vice. She's a partner at the firm. He's the global vice chair of the energy sector. It seems to me that his expertise is in tech. He serves as the global vice chair of DLA Piper's energy sector. He's regularly called upon by Fortune 100 domestic and international clients to handle their most significant energy, environmental, and financial services matters, be they the defense of government, criminal, and enforcement actions, judicial and administrative trials, and appellate litigation, regulatory compliance, project development, or major transactions. He's been repeatedly acclaimed for his multifaceted practice in the leading legal rating publication, The Best Lawyers. I'm like, in America for 20 consecutive years, including Lawyer of the Year. Lawyer of the Year recognition. Super lawyers, blah, 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 yada, 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 yada. People say wonderful things about him. He's the one attorney I would pick to be next to me when it really counts, and one of the smartest lawyers I've ever worked with. At the client stage, he's extraordinarily smart, creative, meticulous, incredibly bright, hardworking, pragmatic, and thoughtful. He represented the governmental entity charged with planning the rebuilding and revitalization of the World Trade Center in Lower Manhattan in the aftermath of 9/11, having been selected to do so as the result of a national competition. Well, that's interesting. He's a general civil litigation practice, encompasses a wide variety of commercial matters in state and federal trial and appellate courts, so he does appeals work as well. Handled one of the actions arising out of one of the largest bank frauds nationwide. And here we go. Many of his trials have turned on the direct examination and cross-examination of experts, where he applies his scientific and technical background. He's also handled a variety of domestic and cross-border criminal matters. He has pursued and defended on behalf of clients several Section 1983 actions involving claims of violations of constitutional rights by government officials and agencies. I see a lot of places where he could help in this case. He's also pursued and defended on behalf of clients numerous claims under the RICO Act, which is the Racketeer Influenced and Corruption Organizations Act of 1970. Very, very, very experienced, very wide range of knowledge. Graduated Albany Law School, cum laude, and BS from Albany in pharmacy. So your best guess is as good as mine, but it doesn't seem like he's been hired for any appellate issues. It seems like he's been hired for his specialty in some other matters here. And I don't think they have anything to do with the energy sector. I think it has to do with some of the other specialties that he has. He's not replacing anybody, no. He's not replacing anyone. He's just coming on. He's going to be another member of the team, supplemental member of the team. He's a licensed pharmacist. Yeah, I got that. I looked at his LinkedIn, but then he went to law school. So, and when you go to law school, you could really actually major in anything. There are no prerequisites to get into law school. You could be you could be a philosophy major, you could be a psychology major, you could be a criminal justice major. I was a business major. You can be whatever kind of major you want to be. But he seems to be very, very highly skilled in crossing expert witnesses with regard to tech and other things. Section 1983 actions is what interests me. A violation of someone's civil rights by governmental entities. Maybe there's some stuff going on behind the scenes that we don't really know about. So there's that. Welcome, Mr. Alessi, Counselor Alessi, to the defense Karen Reed team. Yeah, she has to. Of course, she's going to allow him. She can't deny it. I mean, it's a pro hoc vice petition. There's really no ground. There would really be no grounds to deny it. Pro forma happens all the time. For example, Mark Betterow is admitted pro hoc vice to represent Aidan Carney. You have to be sponsored by a Massachusetts attorney. You have to pay the fine. And these motions never get denied. They're just like automatic. It's just like pay the fee, have a sponsor, have David Yannetti say that he's going to oversee you and your work. And very commonly done. Very commonly done. Not a big surprise. Interesting. Nonetheless. Now, there are two other. I know I'm not going to hypothesize or guess because I really have no inside information. Yeah, everybody's still on the defense team, you guys. Nobody's being replaced. Nobody is being replaced. He's just being added. There are no replacements. This does not mean that anybody's quitting, anybody's being fired. It just means we are adding to the team. Kind of like how Hank Brennan was added to the prosecution team for really no good reason other than nobody else in the office wanted to touch it. So there's that. So this is very, very interesting. Or not really so much very interesting, but here's the thing. Right, Jonathan, thank you. I'm just wondering why. Like, I was wondering if the attached affidavits had any new information in them. That's why. So but are they attached in what I have here? Because I don't think they're attached. So a lot of people were very excited yesterday or very upset or worried or something. I don't know. There was a lot of hubbub yesterday about these two more motions being filed by the Commonwealth. However, once I actually got a chance to look at them, they seem to be duplicative to me. So if anybody can point out to me what the difference is between these two motions and the motions they already filed with regard to the same exact matters, please let me know. Because here they are filing again under a different number. This looks like it says 421, but it's really 427. This was filed yesterday. And it's the Commonwealth's motion for all video recordings, audio recordings, interview notes, emails, text messages, and voicemails of Karen Reed in the possession of Universal Television and NBC Boston. So we've already seen this motion once. Mark Betterow and I looked at it because this is regard to NBC 10. They want all the Dateline interviews with Dennis Murphy. They've already filed this motion. Can anybody point to me what's different? Did they fix the date? But if that's the case, it should say amended motion. It should point out in the motion what's different. Because otherwise the court has to guess why it's different. So again, this is to NBC Boston and Universal Television, both in Boston. They want everything between Dateline correspondent Dennis Murphy, all the raw video footage that was aired or that was not aired. Yeah, but did they act? I mean, that's what I thought too. Did they actually serve the other party? But still, this would be like an amended motion. The way that it's filed and the way that it's titled, it makes it look like it's a different motion than the ones that we've already seen recently filed in this case. So yeah, I know, being right, that's a great thing. But I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to read it word for word because it's just kind of boring and it's kind of like we've done all of this before. I feel like it's deja vu. So let's see. Everything that was not aired by Dennis Murphy. They want the complete audio and video record of any statements made by the defendant, including but not limited to all raw video footage that was not aired, handwritten notes of anything between Dennis Murphy or NBC Dateline news reporter, all emails between the defendant and any representative, all text messages, all voicemail messages. Yeah, the sought after information is evidentiary and relevant. Can't get it any other way. Not a fishing expedition. Expedition. Did I say exposition? And still, John was not hit by a car. Thank you, John Monagle, for pointing that out. Thank you so much. Again, procedural history. On September 1st of 2023, they filed this exact same motion. Hank Brennan was not involved. That was a Lally thing. Commonwealth unsuccessfully sought to serve NBC at its New York address. So they had bad service. They didn't serve them properly. After that, the court denied the motion without prejudice, saying, I'm going to deny it, but in the future, if you want to bring the motion again, you can. But you need to, adhere to the rules of trying to get a witness in here from out of state. You can't just get a witness in from out of state because they served them at their New York office. We already, I feel like this is like deja vu all over again. Okay, so now they're seeking the information from NBC Boston in Needham, owned by NBC. Okay, so they want to get a witness from inside the state. It's easier. There is no journalistic privilege in Massachusetts. There isn't one. Good point, Patty, but Massachusetts does not recognize journalistic privilege, so there's that. Okay, so now it says we now seek similar materials to docket number 122. Remember, we're now in the 400s. This is like number 427. So now they're saying the present motion seeks a more fulsome disclosure. How often do you hear that word, fulsome? Fulsome. Word of the day, everyone. Word of the day. It just means like a more broad. We're looking for more stuff. We're looking for more abundant, a larger quantity of things than we were looking for all those years ago, back in September of 2023, when we made the first motion that was denied because we improperly served it. Because now, in addition to what we asked for before, we want all of these other things. We want all the off-the-record notes. We want stuff from Canton Confidential. We want all these other things and stuff we didn't ask for before. And so here's our argument. We think the defendant made some relevant statements. I think they're looking for more, some kind of confessions from Karen Reed in these outtakes. Everything that was not publicly aired that may have wound up on the cutting room floor, basically. Again, they point to the powerful example, the marked difference between her statements on the broadcast and a Dateline clip, which are all, in my opinion, not really that different. But, they're looking, I don't know what they're looking for. And I don't know why they made this motion again. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Meatball Marcy. First time he sent it out, it was a rough draft. This time he made spelling corrections, sends new motions, but it should just be like amended motion. And then say, okay, we filed, number 404 million and whatever. This is amended because we're changing the following things. Why do we need to so does he expect the court to now put these two motions side by side and say, all right, what's different about them? What's different about them? So again, this is the same stuff from Dennis Murphy. They just made this motion like 2 weeks ago. Numerous other examples exist, including but not limited to the references made in the Commonwealth's Rule 17 for 2020 footage from ABC. Okay, so they're saying what she said on NBC is different from what she said on ABC, and that's different from what she said on Dateline, which is different what she said on Nightline, which is different from what they played on the Today Show. And we think because she was wearing the same dress that all this stuff must have been pre-trial. So we want all the things and stuff that we asked you for 2 weeks ago. And we're not going to tell you why this motion's any different. If anyone has put them side by side and can tell me what one of these things is not like the other, like, what are we supposed to do? We're supposed to just figure this out? Like, why do you need to be a detective to figure out legal pleadings that should be absolutely 100% pointed out in the first paragraph? Commonwealth has a good faith basis to believe, based on the appearance of the interview, that the full interview with Dennis Murphy occurred before the defendant's first trial, such as her statements are highly relevant as they occurred without the hindsight or influence of the other's testimony. Let's play spot the difference. I know, I feel like we're playing like, it's like, where's Waldo? Like, so now Karen's going to have to incur, an hourly fee for her attorneys to now go through this motion, which is the same as the last motion. But what is going on? Again, there's no recognized reporter privilege in Massachusetts. It's well settled that reporters don't have a constitutionally based testimonial privilege that other citizens do not have. And here's all the same things and stuff that we said in the motion that we made a couple weeks ago for the same exact things that we're asking for now. Thank you. It's a good time to remind everyone that John O'Keefe was not hit by a car, and a car did not hit John O'Keefe, says Cherie. And if the only thing different about this stuff that they now want from Dennis Murphy and Dateline and Nightline and whatever line, white lines, I don't even know, say why it's different. XOXO, Hank Brennan, specially appointed, 11/20/24. This is just dated yesterday. I mean, I don't have the affidavits that are attached to him, but I mean, is he just putting different addresses for service of process in here? Did he find a different address? And if so, please just put amended motion. Why? Why are we here? What are we doing? We're still in the upside down. Here's motion paper number 429, which is the next one. And this is for Gretchen Voss's notes and everything else and didn't we? I'm like, I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone because we literally, I think I remember making a thumbnail about Gretchen Voss 2 weeks ago, within the past 2 weeks. So now again, it's a renewed motion, but he's not saying it's renewed from 2 weeks ago. He's saying it's renewed from 2023. What am I missing? I don't think they made a motion yet for Vanity Fair. That may be one that they didn't make. I may be losing my mind. It's quite possible. So if there is anybody out there who can tell me, oh, James is apologizing for being late. Oh, it's okay. It's okay, James. You got a pass, didn't you? Didn't you turn your pass in at the office? Oh, thanks. It is kind of hilarious, Nicola. What am I doing here? I thought, so many people emailed these to me. I'm like, excellent. We got new stuff to talk about. We're good, 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 good. And then I'm reading them. I'm like, what the duck? Why are we here? It's like, where's Waldo? Let's pay our attorneys to have to do this. And let's, hold on one second. And, Let's pay an hourly rate for them to have to go through this again and try and figure out for themselves why this is different than the motion that you filed 2 weeks ago for the same exact stuff. Again, everything that we didn't get from Gretchen Voss the first time that we made another motion for a little while ago, because, remember the first motion was granted with regard to the stuff that was on the record. And I believe that they agreed. The Boston Magazine agreed. We even went back. I remember we even went back and we watched part of the original motion hearing because Judge Cannoni was swooning over the attorney for Gretchen Voss, if you recall, from Boston Magazine. She liked him. Maybe they were friends. I don't know. They agreed to turn stuff over. And she said, all right, that's good enough for now. And then she said, later on, if you want to, you can make the motion again, which is what they mean when they say denied without prejudice. That means you can make the motion again later. So it doesn't call itself an amended motion. It's just a renewed motion, but it says it's renewed from 2023. See? Again, they're saying we respectfully request that the court reconsider its prior order. Yeah, from 2023. Unless I'm really missing something here. Right. Footnote 3, during a January 18, 2024 hearing, that's the one that we watched part of last time we were here, seems very recently. Counsel for Boston Magazine informed the court that the June 20th, 2023 interview lasted approximately 4 hours and the June 23 interview was 2 hours. They got some recordings. Parts of it were redacted. We want everything now. We want everything. I remember reading these exact quotes to you. I know I'm not losing my mind. So did they forget that they made this motion already and then they just made it again? Or is this frivolous? Is this an oversight? Is this just like, oops, I thought we did it, but I just didn't do it, but I thought I did it. And no, I didn't think I did it, but I already did it and I forgot. I'm so confused. Again, the sips of water at the waterfall, undermined by every 40 minutes she had a drink. They go through all of the question and answer. He claims without the full unredacted audio of all the defendant's statements, the Commonwealth would be unfairly blocked from obtaining and providing the jury relevant evidence that places the defendant's admissions in its full context. They say there's no legal basis to preclude them from getting this because there's no journalistic privilege and anything the defendant says is not hearsay and substantive evidence. Anything her attorney said, no legal protection right. Her attorney was there for part of it. Here's all our case law. Again, this is in my opinion, from my brief look at this, it's a duplicative motion. Please allow us this motion. Footnote 6, if the court is concerned about public disclosure, we will agree to impound it. Okay. Okay. I think I've seen this film before and I didn't like the ending. Oops. Oops. Anyone? 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 Bueller. Bueller. I second that emotion. Thank you, Helen Handbasket. I thought we were gonna have some stuff to talk about, but apparently it's completely duplicative of the stuff we already said. Chloe Albert's revenge, thanks to the 5. So now she has 2 attorneys now who are more experty than their expert Trooper Paul. Yeah. He'll eat Trooperino for lunch. Chloe Albert's revenge again. Maybe the Commonwealth had too much money left over and was itching to pay filing fees. Yeah, maybe. That's a good point. I don't know what your motion fees, but we have to pay motion fees in New York. I don't know if I don't know what your motion fees are in Mass. Husky Lover, thanks to the 10. So Karen has the best of the best. Hank has Lally. I bet he's excited. Well, he's got Miss McLaughlin too. McLaughlin. If anyone, who was the ambulance driver? Thanks to the 5. If the case is dependent on her confession or even she said, then you don't have a case. Yeah. Thank you. Tracy, do you think if they dump tea in the harbor again, it would work? Girl, your guess is as good as mine at this point. So, Tammy, could it be that Hank once again isn't researching what has already been admitted? No, not really what's been admitted. He's the one who actually made these 2 motions. I mean, because now I got to find it. And says the Commonwealth of Massachusetts is really making people that have to live here disgusted. Freeloader, spitting song lyrics. I do. I think in song lyrics. It's crazy. Somebody sent me something else that I thought was interesting here. So since we're here, we're gonna look at it. Let's see. Um, a woman who dropped out of the Massachusetts Police Academy says her experience was hell. That was published yesterday. You guys see that? Hit the smash the like button. Hi, Michelle Murray. I feel like they're going around the Boston Globe denying it again. And so now they're just asking for Gretchen Voss's notes, in my opinion only. But she's employed by them. So they're her employer. There's just nothing different about these motions I mean, there's just nothing different about it. Now I need to because now I'm curious. I need to pull up these recent motions and tell you when they were filed. And it was definitely within the past 30 days. Let's see. Gretchen doesn't work for the Globe. She works for Boston Magazine. Okay, well, that's what this is asking for anyway. Sorry if I misspoke. But that's who they're serving here. So let's look at the Mass Courts website for a second. As you know, these are all Rule 17 motions, which are going to be argued, I think, next week if all goes according to plan. And the reason they weren't argued last week is because Hank Brennan did not serve any of the third-party record holders, because apparently he's not familiar with the procedure, and apparently Lally didn't want to help him. Or maybe he didn't ask Lally for help. I don't know. I'm not sure. Oh, the website is booming because it was buffering for me for a second. All right, let's see. I want to swipe myself out again like I already have done once today. All right, so NBC 10 is the one we just looked at, right? So 422. So the one that we just looked at, NBC 10, was 427. And just so I can prove that I'm not crazy, I'm going to pull this up because many of you may have more brain power than I do today, apparently. This is 422. They want everything: video recordings, audio recordings, interview notes, emails, text messages, and voicemails of Karen Reed in the possession of NBC 10 Boston. Really? They're going to make me do this? Put these side by side? You know what? If I can do this today, if I do this and it saves Karen Reed a couple $1,000s in attorney's fees because they don't now have to do this and put these things side by side, it'll be worth it. So this is what you call grunt work. This is what you call ridiculousness. I'd ask for costs on this. I would. You know why? Because I'm petty like that. I'd be like, yeah, I want costs. What are you doing? Like, what the duck are you doing here? Okay. All right. So 422 is asking for all the same stuff from NBC Boston. But in the first motion, which was just filed on November 13th, they only have NBC 10 Boston at Needham. And then in the one that they just filed yesterday, they've got Universal Television listed and NBC 10 Boston. Okay. So they've got a different address for the keeper of records. However, it is literally everything else is the same word for word. Okay. It's not easy for me to toggle between windows, so I'm not going to do that right now. But take my word for it when I tell you that everything else, well, let me just check, is the same. The only thing that is different is that they added Universal Television as the registered agent of NBC Boston, like it's the parent company. So they want the court to order subpoenas to both of them. But instead of saying amended motion, and here's the only thing we're changing, they file it as a whole new motion. This is idiocy. Jonathan, can you back me up on this? One of my behind the scenes paralegals who happens to be in Massachusetts. It's like ridiculous. And this would be something I would have my paralegal do. Compare these two motions to me and see if anything else is different. Nope, same. Dennis Murphy, email, text messages, procedural history, everything is the same. Jurisdiction. More fulsome disclosure. That's in there too. It's all the same. It's the exact same motion. The only thing they added was an additional address to NBC Boston. This is Jonathan, is this outrageous that they would do this, making it look like a whole nother motion? Yeah, Love Shack. We are not getting our money's worth from Hank's paralegal. Refund, refund. We want a refund. Let's see what they did with the Gretchen Voss motion. Let's see what's different about that. Okay, that was 405. Let's take a look at 405 side by side. All right. Okay, my good friends. So we just compared 427 to 422. Now we need to compare, because this is what, you should pay a lawyer. I don't know how many thousands of dollars an hour to review. Because guess what? Karen Reed's lawyers don't charge $250 an hour like Hank Brennan does. Okay. So in 422, I'm sorry, 405. This is for Gretchen Voss and her Metro Corp, and this was filed on November 6th. Let's see, they have one address here. They have got Metro Corp Inc., DBA Boston Magazine, 300 Massachusetts Avenue, Boston, Mass. 02134, but it's not 02134. So we need to now compare side by side this motion 405, which was filed on November 6th, with this motion filed yesterday, which is number 429. And the only difference, ready? I'm going to show you. Here you go. Metro Corp Inc., DBA Boston Magazine, Gretchen Voss. I've got to do this a weird way because even though StreamYard has now doubled their prices, they have not improved their service. Here now, not just Metro Corp, but now we're going to serve their registered agent. This is probably like, in New York, you can serve them through Albany, which is like the Secretary of State. So I don't know. This may be your Secretary of State. So legit, the only difference is they've added another place to serve the order. Okay. It's not an amended motion. They don't call it that. But aside from that, everything else is exactly the same. You should be outraged that this is where your money is going. All right. So 429 compared to 405, same damn body in the motion. The only thing that's different is the two addresses to serve the order on instead of just the one. But we don't even know if they served the actual motion on them, which is what they're required to do, because I don't have the affidavit of service. So I don't know. Time waster, time suck, trying to eat up the $250 an hour retainer money, maybe. What's the duck? And by the way, the rubber duck hearing did not happen today. It's been adjourned. Amy is more than outraged. Accomplished Creative will not allow that. Thank you, Pamela Campbell, for your super sticker. Did they fix the typos? I don't even know if there were typos in this one, but whatever it is, it just should say amended motion. And then it should state right in the first couple paragraphs what's amended about it. At least even say, hi, I'm Hank Brennan. Yeah, hi, my name is Hank Brennan, and I'm your new special assistant district attorney. Because, she's going to have to figure this out for herself too now. Now she's playing some kind of guessing game. She's going to think it's a separate motion because, everything gets numbered over there. She's going to be like, all right, now we got to hear 405, 406, 408, 410. What do you mean these two motions are the same? Why doesn't this, do you think she'll go off on him in court? I don't know. Scott McGinnis says Judge Canoni owes her robe and gavel to DA Meatball Marcy, hence the conflict. Never mind. She has ties to the McCabe's and the Alberts. She denies it. KPT says, how many ways can we waste Karen Reed's money? Connie says they're abusing the court system and Karen Reed. It's all good with the dishonor. Good time to point out that the viewers' opinions are not necessarily my opinions. Carla says, is Brennan trying to bury the defense under a mountain of motions from Holland? Hi, Holland. We have international viewers here. This is an international story now. And this is internationally embarrassing. But, I'm a Timu lawyer, according to the Twidiots, so I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about. Hey, Chloe Alba's revenge, but then he will forget to serve them. Yeah, probably. Probably. John Monagle, NBC Boston would not have access to unaired footage from the Dateline interview. That's a national production. NBC Boston is just a local affiliate that airs it. They don't produce it. Okay. If all of that is true, the only thing that they did was add another address for service of process on the proposed same motion that they already filed. Right? So that's the proper procedure. Jason, they're just trying to drain her in every way. Now we know someone like Zoom. I know 02134. Send it to Zoom. I mean, let me see. Hello, Donna. It's going to continue. Hanky Panky. I call it Hanky Panky. Remember the Joan Jett song? My baby does the hanky panky. It's going to continue. Hanky Lanky said he was going to send over everything he touches, leave nothing behind, like Lally did. Well, that goes to discovery exchanges. This is emotion. This is different. This is something he's got to get the court to order. When they do those discovery exchanges, it's just stuff that they give the other side. But yeah, he did say that. Scott says Mark Bettero will be an awesome addition to Karen Reed's defense team. This has all gotten so ridiculous and so expensive. A final battle of the war awaits all over DA Meatball. Well, here's the thing. I don't think he can. I think he's got a conflict because he represents Aiden Carney. So I don't think he would be allowed to be part of Karen's defense team. Well, in any event, we can look at this Canton Confidential that dropped yesterday that so many of you sent me because I imagine that you want to watch it. Let's take a look. Everyone smash the like button while we're thinking of it. How many days has it been since the death of Enrique Delgado Garcia? Still no answers, right? Still no answers. I'm covering also the Daniel Penny trial. And I'm going to tell you, when we went over the fight nights that we discovered through other parts of the country that were happening in state police trainee camps or whatever, boot camps, training facilities, and we found fight night and we found the big fight in different parts of the country. One of those recruits was rendered a double amputee as a result of fight night, and the other one was killed as a result of fight night. And both medical examiners blamed sickle cell trait in their deaths. I'm curious to see if that's going to come up in the Enrique Delgado Garcia cause of death or contributing thing. And it's not sickle cell. It's not sickle cell disease. It's just sickle cell trait. Totally different. You can Google the difference. Not a medical expert. But in the Daniel Penny case and the death of Jordan Neely, it actually was a contributing factor. So, here, let's listen to this woman who dropped out of the Massachusetts State Police Academy say that her experience was hell.
Tonight in our Commonwealth Confidential State of Policing series, we're taking a look at the culture of the State Police Academy. Following the death of recruit Enrique Delgado Garcia, the NBC 10 investigators teamed up with journalism students at Boston University and interviewed a former recruit from his class. Now, she dropped out after she described the initial days as hell. Our NBC 10's Bianca Beltran joining us in the newsroom to share some of her experience, Bianca.
Well, Priscilla, student journalists contacted 44 recruits who dropped out of this year's academy class. The majority did not respond to our request for comment, but several who did said they left because of the high stress environment and toxic culture. Now, the recruit that you are about to hear from asked to remain anonymous so that she does not jeopardize a future career in law enforcement, but felt it was important to speak out about what she experienced.
At orientation, she said recruits were warned about what awaited them at the Massachusetts State Police Academy.
The guy's like, just so you know, this is going to be hell. And I was like, okay, well, like maybe he's just saying that to kind of scare us. But yeah, it really was hell.
This former recruit.
I noticed he was silhouetted there and his voice was disguised because that's how afraid these recruits are for speaking out against the MSP.
Out because of the toll the training took both physically and mentally. From the moment they woke up,
they're just like banging on walls and like screaming.
To mealtime.
They make you stand up while you're eating, eat in like 2 minutes.
She said it was constantly stressful.
If they brought the wrong thing with them, they had to like stand up in front of everyone and just say like, you know, I'm a failure, I'm a loser.
She claims she was ridiculed after she was encouraged to seek counseling with a staff member about how she was struggling.
I think if I would have stayed, I think I would have been a completely different person, because I think it changes your personality. Like, it changes you to be like more like hardcore, like more aggressive.
She didn't get to know Enrique Delgado Garcia, but his death following a boxing training exercise motivated her to speak out.
I think that's why they need to really dig deeper into the way that they train and really change things, especially for his sake.
Now, Massachusetts State Police says they do not tolerate hazing or discrimination in the academy, and they thoroughly investigate all allegations. Now, the academy handbook states in its philosophy of training that the stress-based training approach is intended to prepare trainees to respond appropriately in any given situation. Now, coming up at 7, we'll take a deeper look into efforts to improve training and the culture at the academy after another recruit died 36 years ago. In the newsroom, I'm Bianca Beltran, NBC 10 Boston.
Well, at least they're looking into it. At least somebody over there at NBC Boston is, doing some investigative reporting. So that's a good thing, I guess. Thank you to Brian Goodman, Mr. of the Goodmans, for the Venmo, who says he had to one-up myself from this morning on behalf of or demanded of Mrs. G. They're funny. They're super, super funny. And thank you, Elizabeth, for your Venmo as well. You guys are hilarious. You are the snark tank, and you are very, very, very funny. Comments, thoughts, questions, concerns? Amy says, thanks for Amy. Anne, I'm sorry, Anne. The Commonwealth of Massachusetts is really making people that have to live here disgusted. Yeah. You guys are outraged, and you have every right to be. Today is not that day, says, can Bev say no to another lawyer? No, these are just routinely granted. They just have to apply because they're out of state and not technically admitted in Massachusetts, because in many states, some states are reciprocal. If you're past the bar in New York, you can, for example, be waived in to DC. I'm not sure what other states, maybe Colorado, without taking another bar exam, but in many states you cannot. So you have to file a special petition. It's called a pro hoc vice admission, where you're being admitted to the bar of that state just for one specific matter or case. And you have to show that you're in good standing in the law, in the state in which you hold your license. Typically, you have to submit a certificate of good standing that you can get from your local court administration. And you have to be sponsored by a lawyer from that state. So David Yannetti is sponsoring Robert Alessi to come in, but they are routinely granted. She cannot say no. Oh, thanks, Lupus Lady, for hanging in for 2 months, and I love you too. Nancy says, Hanky Panky was released by Tommy James and the Shondells, 1966. You are correct about that. Many, many people have covered that song. It is a great song. My specific favorite version happens to be the Joan Jett version. It's the one I grew up on. Thank you, Cats Meow, for gifting 5 memberships. Cats Meow 420. Amazing. You're amazing. And to those of you who were gifted, welcome. And then Nancy gifted 20 memberships. What? Oh my God, you're amazing, girl. You are amazing. Thank you, Nancy, for gifting 20 memberships. That was really kind and generous. Live, laugh, toaster bath. 5. How much money do you think the Commonwealth will waste on this retrial? If I lived in Massachusetts, I would be so mad. Has it ever been released how much money it cost them to try the first case? I'm getting my numbers conflated because I know that Karen Reed told Vanity Fair that she is $5 million in debt to her defense attorneys, and continuing now, because when she did that interview with Vanity Fair, I think it was over the summer. So every day is a new bill. Every phone call is a bill. I don't know if they're doing it on flat fee or if they're doing it hourly, but typically if you're billing a client hourly, you bill by the 10th of the hour. So for sake of, round numbers, if you bill $1,600 an hour, well, I would need to do the math on that. But if you bill every 6 minutes is a 10th of an hour. See how that works? You send a text message, it's a 10th of an hour. So if you're billing, just for sake of round numbers, $1,000 an hour. If you send an email and it takes you a tenth of an hour, it's $100. I mean, everything costs money. Every time you pick up the phone, it costs money. I don't know how much it cost the Commonwealth to try the first case, but I know that Karen Reed is in debt over $5 million. And a lot of that has been paid because she sold her house. It's insane. Yeah, thank you, Nancy. That was very, very, very kind of you. Yes, Becky, they did save a lot of money using Trooper Paul and Trooper Reno instead of real experts. And, you know, they're kind of bound by their expertise or lack thereof. Thank you, Angela, for becoming a new member. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. All right. I'm going to surpass Vinny because I'm actual. Thank you, Scott. I'm in a private competition that Vinny Politan knows nothing about to exceed him in YouTube subscribership. So, like, not members, just subscribers. So anybody who like to just hit the subscribe, it's free. Help me in my personal quest to beat Vinny Politan. And he knows nothing about it. Or maybe he does, because maybe his mods told him. I don't really know. I don't really know. So there's that. Thoughts, questions, concerned. I thought this was well, we've almost been here an hour. Thought it would be relatively short, sweet, and to the point. Kind of a waste of time for them to file those motions without telling anybody that there's nothing different about them. Because if the judge finds that out in open court, she might not be happy. Might not be happy. Tim Bell says, my mother always wanted me to be a lawyer. Should have listened to her. Well, you know, there comes a time when the blind man takes your hand, says, don't you see? And then there comes a time when litigation will suck the living soul out of you, and you decide that you got to try and like live a more peaceful life and to just pivot and try and do something else for a while. So it's never too late. You're never too old to dream a new dream. You know, look at me. I'm on YouTube. Who'd have thunk it? Not me. So it's never too late. You can always go to law school. 3 years. Takes 3 years if you already have a bachelor's, and you can go at night, and you can probably do it in 2.5. So there you go. Oh yeah, that's what I do. That's what I do. Look. I've got emojis for that. I've got Grateful Dead emojis. Somebody put some Steelies and dancing bears in the chat for Linux Paradigm. I'm glad I chose this too. I'm having a really great time here. For those of you who have not been following it, I suggest that you do, because there is another defendant in Massachusetts that needs your help. His name is Brian Camp. He's 23 years old. He's now 24 years old. He is on trial in Hampshire County. He testified today. I know you guys are telling me. I'm going to have to cover it tomorrow. I have a very full calendar today. Closing arguments are going to be on Monday. He's 24 years old. He's in bed with his girlfriend, the mother of his 2 daughters, who are sleeping in the room next door. They are 3 and 5 years old, or 2 and 5 years old. Intruder breaks into the house. The intruder happens to be his girlfriend's boss at Dunkin' Donuts. And Brian Camp wakes up to this man who is twice his size, practically choking him and smashing his head against the wall. There is a 20-minute 911 call in which the girlfriend is trying to she smashes the guy over the head with a bottle so that her boyfriend can get away. 20-minute 911 call. She's begging them to come. Took a very long time for them to get there. Apparently Chesterfield, where they live, is a little out there. Massachusetts State Police show up. He gets brought down to the station. It's not being televised. It is not being televised, this trial. Very hard to find information about it. I've already done 2 videos. I did one, I think, yesterday. And then during the Aiden Carney stream are the opening statements. Go watch. Free Brian Camp is our new slogan. We're going to free Karen Reed and free Brian Camp, because it's outrageous what they're doing to him. He's on trial for manslaughter. He's facing up to 20 years in prison. He was protecting his family. Oh, it wound up there was a struggle. The guy, the intruder, the boss who was beating the bejesus out of him, got shot by Brian. And then there's like 8 more minutes that go by, and then he shot him again. And the prosecution is saying, yeah, well, the first shot was okay. Castle doctrine. But the second shot, that's where we're prosecuting him. It's outrageous. If you don't know about it, please educate yourself. with the show that I did yesterday and the one that I'm going to do on the testimony, and then closing arguments are going to be Monday. So it's a really quick trial. Just happened this month, and the state of Massachusetts doesn't apparently want you to know about it because nobody seems to know about it. All of a sudden, Court TV started, releasing little bits and pieces, because when I first found it, all of the videos they had on it were unlisted. It was really weird. I don't know if it's being shadow banned or what. And Pebbles says, I'll say it again, Massachusetts should have their statehood revoked. Love Shack, thanks for being with me for 10 months, says, love Melanie and fellow Snark Tank members. You guys are funny. Tell me something funny. Young Black Economist points out, with it being manslaughter, it's possible even if convicted, Brian Camp could just get probation, but up to 20 years. So we will see. Daughters do not need a dad, right? And they'll take away his firearms, and they'll take away his license. All the firearms he had were licensed. They were all legal. And he won't be able to protect his family anymore. I mean, come on. Come on, man. Come on, man. Yeah. I know. Quack, quack, quack. Will you pick me up in Indiana and take me to please? You haven't seen Dave Matthews. I'm really sorry. I can't do that. This is our running joke, because I get emails constantly from people who are like, can you forward this to Andrew Burkhart? And then they send me 10 emails in a row. Can you forward this to the Glairer? Can you call the Glairer and tell him to pick me up at the airport? Can you fly? I need you. What I need you to do is buy a plane ticket, go to California, pick up my 5-year-old son, and then buy him a plane ticket, and then meet me in Brazil or Costa Rica or Argentina or wherever. And then buy him a plane ticket for like 2 months later. And then if you will do that, I will give you 10 acres of land. Like the asks that I get by email, and every time the bots put up my email, I'm like, look, I will get your emails. I will read them. I can't always respond to them. I cannot be your pen pal. Cannot get your kid and bring them to you in a foreign country for 10 acres of land. And so now people are joking that I should drive them to the airport and forward things to people. And we laugh about it because you have to laugh. Yeah, tell him to take a red eye. Yeah, exactly, Mr. Jackson. Can't you take the red eye, Mr. Jackson? Do you know about the red eye, Mr. Jackson? People take red eyes, don't they, Mr. Jackson? I mean, why can't you just, what time does your court end? What time does court end for you? Can't you just take the 9 o'clock flight? Can't you just take the 9 o'clock flight? Thank you. Well, we keep each other laughing, JD, and that's the only thing that we can do. Trooper Ball's pirouette, Debbie Jo A is going to point out, I'm just going to throw it out there, that there are a lot of women in this chat who would love it if the Glairer picked them up somewhere. Yes, but I cannot make those. You can't ask me to make those requests for you. If you're going to want to get into his DMs, you're going to have to do it your own damn self. I am not forwarding anything on. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Karaoke, for tuning in from Canada. And I will, because, so damn lucky, as the man says. Put some fire dancer emojis in the chat for me. Yes, Carrie, on your next trip to Long Island, I'll pick you up at Islip Airport. Of course, I mean, Islip is easier. I was at JFK this morning at 6:30 a.m. for a pickup. So, there's a Seinfeld episode in there somewhere. Like, then the Van Wyck. You know. Rainy days chiming in. All such it's bananas. Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. It's bananas. It's ducking crazy. It's all of the things. It's all of the things that you can use to explain it. Just substitute the word duck in there and you're good. Like they're prosecuting Richard Schiffer still. Let me see. I'll tell you the new date on that because I have that for you. Because there are so many cases intertwined with this one that there is a spreadsheet that was created for all of these ridiculous cases that many people find to be very, very serious. How dare you? How dare you, Melanie Little, you Timu lawyer, make fun of the prosecution of these rubber ducks? Don't you understand what they're doing? Don't you understand that you are being so mean to the YouTube, to the O'Keefe family, and you've shown total callous disregard? And then Jennifer Coffendorfer, points that out to her viewers and compares it to like the Richard Allen trial and Nancy Grace, and calling me a person hating on the O'Keefes. I am not hating on the O'Keefes. Two things can coexist. I'm going to say this a little bit louder for people in the back. Two things can be true. you or I can have an abundance of sympathy and feel the grief of the O'Keefe family for the death of not only their son, the amazing man, Boston police officer John O'Keefe, but also their daughter, Kristen, her husband, and now Kristen's children who have to deal with more loss. I have immense sympathy and feel their grief in every bone of my body. I've never said an unkind word about them. I have never attacked them. So, Twidiots, you can just put that to bed right now. That can be true. And also, I can be of the belief that Karen Reed did not hit John O'Keefe with her car based on, for me initially, it was based on the medicine, based on the injuries. The injuries to John O'Keefe's body did not come from being hit by a car at 24.2 miles an hour, somebody gunning it 60 miles an hour in reverse. They just didn't. And when you add, coupled with two biomechanical engineers hired by the FBI who came in to opine, physics doesn't lie. John O'Keefe was not hit by a car, and a car did not hit John O'Keefe. And guess what? You don't need the Lexus infotainment system information download to make that determination as a biomechanical engineer, because biomechanical engineers have been reconstructing accidents such as like this for decades without that technology. It's physics. It's looking at the injuries. It's reconstructing they don't need to look at the car. They don't need to physically examine the car, just like they don't need to physically examine the body. That is not the way it's done. I am a civil litigator for more than 30 years. I have hired hundreds of accident reconstructionists during the course of my career. And the only time that my expert would be required to examine the vehicle is if it was due to a product's liability issue. For example, a brake failure on a car that had had a recall. We're suing the manufacturer of the Pinto. And the reason that the Pinto exploded was because the gas tank was in the back. That's when the biomechanical engineer expert needs to examine the actual physical vehicle. Okay. Aside from that, it's not necessary. Okay. This isn't new. This isn't new science. This is not a new area of expertise. It's been done this way for decades. It just has. So two things can be true. You can feel immense sympathy for the O'Keefes and for what they are going through, have gone through, and will continue to go through, because time does not heal all wounds, unfortunately. And you can also believe that Karen Reed did not hit John O'Keefe with her car and that she's being wrongfully prosecuted for murder in the state of Massachusetts. Okay? And whether you think she was drunk or not, whether you think she had 9 drinks or not, it doesn't change the fact that he was not hit by a car. Okay? That's it. That's it. That's my TED Talk. That's my TED Talk for today. That's my closing argument. Pretty much that's a wrap for today, because I'm going to go spend the night with my man, Dave Matthews. And if any of you are going to be there, look for me. Come say hi. Peace. Amen. Amen. Thanks for keeping it classy. I know this case is a hard one to cover. We've already been live for a couple of hours this morning. So this is stream number 2 of the day. Make sure you hit subscribe. It is free. Make sure you hit the bell so you know, because once I know Cam took the stand today. I know I've got his testimony. I have no time to do it today. I will be doing it tomorrow. So you're going to want to make sure that you've got your notification bell set. And for those of you who don't know about the Brian Camp case, go look at the stream from yesterday. Go look at the opening statements, which were the day before. The link would be in the show notes for you. Introduce yourself to my girl, Kathy, who I found, who's got an amazing channel called Gossip, Rumor, and Innuendo. And since I discovered her just yesterday, she did an amazing summary of the Brian Camp case that I thought was so hilarious. I thought we needed to laugh yesterday. I emailed her. I said, girl, I don't know you, you don't know me, but can I play your synopsis of Brian Camp on my channel? Because I can't do it better than you, and we need to laugh. She's like, yeah, go. And then she came in the chat, and now I want her to be my best friend. Go subscribe to her channel. She's hilarious. Every morning she drops a video on true crime, and it's got the rumor and innuendo, and it will make you laugh. I promise you. So Thank you, Scott, for dropping the link in chat. You're going to want, after you watch the video from yesterday on Brian Camp, you're going to want to go do that. And that's what we're here for. We're creators supporting other creators. All of us who have been supporting Karen Reed are all mostly on the same page about supporting each other. And, you know, we don't all know each other, but we support each other and we redirect to each other and we are nice to each other. And that's how I feel about other creators that I find. I want to help them build their channel. Yesterday, she had 10,000 subscribers when we started the stream. Today, I don't know what she's up to, you guys, but this morning it was she had gained something like at least 1,200 subscribers. So keep up the good work, you guys. Do the good things. Lift up other people. Women lift up other women. It's enough. The hatred, the vitriol, the gross is gross, because now I got to look up how many subs she has today. Now she's at 11.3. So 1,300 subscribers between last night and today. And you know what? It's because you guys are out there doing all the good things and stuff. Brian Camp needs you. Brian Camp needs you. Please, please just pay attention. Don't look the other way. Don't look the other way, because time's running out on Brian Camp. Closing arguments are Monday. Have an amazing weekend. We're all so damn lucky to be here together, as we always are. Stay cool, stay kind, stay classy. You know it, girl. You know it. And do all the good things and stuff. Smash the like. Help share the stream. Spread the word. That's the best thing that you can do. Financially, if you can help support Karen Reed and her defense fund, spread the word. So don't be gross. Don't be gross. Exactly. Don't be gross. Peace, my friends. Have an amazing weekend. I'll see you really soon.